Why don't you give me a sign?
This is Corinna Jane.
The leaves are trailing along that shore. It's not your problem, it's mine.
With her brand new single, Give Me a Sign.
While the world still spins,
As featured on BBC Introducing.
it's just the way it's gotta be. Give me a sign about the things that we don't know. Why don't you give me a sign?
Corinna Jane, Give Me a Sign. Out now.
It's not your problem, it's mine.
Hello, I'm Sophia Jessica, and welcome to the Fan Carpet.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fan Carpet. We are here today with Paul Blinkhorn to ask him about himself, his career, his short movie, The Man at the Bottom of the Garden. Hi, Paul. How are you?
Hi, Sophia. Nice to meet you.
And you? How's this journey been throughout your filming days? And if we could go back to the defining moment for you, was there a moment in time where you realized this is what you want to do with your career, go into film, direct, write, and get into the film industry?
I initially came to film through theatre. I trained as a theatre director initially, but coming from a very working class background, regular visits to the theatre kind of weren't the go-to thing. So I kind of came to theatre through film anyway. So kind of a love of actors, a love of story, and kind of great filmmakers. And over the last few years, I've been kind of balancing doing theatre, audio drama, and short film, but I've been writing kind of longer term projects as well.
And what led you up to this particular film, The Man at the Bottom of the Garden? How did that come about?
The BBC Writers' Room, right at the beginning of the first lockdown, ran a competition to commission between 8 and 10 short films on that period. Kind of we were all kind of getting accustomed to that kind of very strange window in time. So I originally wrote it for that, The Man at the Bottom of the Garden, and they kind of whittled it down, and I got down to the final 50 out of almost 7,000 scripts. But by that point, everyone was locked indoors, and I knew I had something that I could make while still in lockdown. So I kind of set about finding the right team to make it anyway.
And do you enjoy being able to go outside of your comfort zone and challenge yourself with new ways of filming?
Yeah, it was certainly a challenge. Kind of getting used to kind of dealing with everything. Kind of, I was more concerned this time around than I've ever been about making sure I had all of the footage, because it all was going to my laptop, and if anything went amiss, the whole day would have been wasted. So yeah, kind of, I'm not a technophobe, but knowing everything was reliant on me felt very tricky.
And would you say you enjoyed filming remotely, or is it something you're happy to leave behind once we can start filming normally again?
I enjoyed it with this project, and I've done a couple of other remote things over lockdown. But yeah, I just want to get back into being in the same physical space as people now. The sooner the better.
So the other project you did during lockdown remotely, could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I teamed up with a playwright friend of mine called Jane Marshall, who'd written a monologue called Hand to Hand Combat, and it won a competition a couple of years ago at the Royal Exchange, and it was a monologue about an observer to domestic abuse, and we've been talking about it prior to lockdown. And when lockdown came about, I kind of touched base with Jen and kind of thought of a different way of doing it. So ultimately we ended up with a cast of 45 women sharing the dialogue for this monologue, and everyone worked for free. Everyone kind of contributed voluntarily. Just to kind of create this short film to raise awareness of domestic abuse. So I've been quite choosy. I've been choosy over lockdown about what I do, because I think you need a break every now and then.
Yes, yeah, you do. It's a good opportunity to take a rest as well during this time that we are quite limited, and very limited. And but that sounds like a perfect time to release the domestic abuse one, because of the stats with it heightening during lockdown and worsening with domestic violence, but also obviously other issues during lockdown. It's a good time to raise awareness for that.
Yeah, it felt very kind of the two pieces that I've done are kind of dealt with very differing kind of experiences of lockdown.
Yeah.
And I kind of dip into different kind of territory, and kind of The Man at the Bottom of the Garden's a comedy. It's not meant to be taken too kind of seriously. It's meant to give people a bit of a comic relief, whereas Hand to Hand Combat was a completely different other beast entirely.
Yes. And would you say you have any memories from filming either of those that will stick with you throughout the rest of your career?
I think the biggest memories really with The Man at the Bottom of the Garden is the caliber of the cast we got. We filmed the entire thing in a day.
Wow.
And as I've been kind of going through, because I recorded the entire day and then obviously took all the footage out, just how much of a laugh we managed to have kind of between takes and things. Because I've been
That's
looking
always
through
the best in filming.
Yeah, just finding an opportunity to kind of relax in all those spaces and not put too much pressure on ourselves. And it actually reminded me what it is I enjoy about working with actors and working on scripts and being in a rehearsal room or in a set with actors. And it actually just made me want to do it, to just get back out there again.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's very positive. And you worked with Ben Cogan for your casting director, as a casting director.
Yeah.
Would you say that, I mean, the cast was great. Would you say, how was that process for you working with Ben?
Yeah, working with Ben was fantastic. We had some initial conversations about the kind of thing I was looking for, and kind of I ran with a few kind of thoughts that he had, and we got the cast we wanted, which was the main thing. And obviously he's been doing this for quite a while now, and I think when it comes to filmmaking, it is a collaborative process with your actors, with your creative team, your producer Karen Newman on this one, and the likes of Ben. And it was a very small team as well, so actually we were in contact with each other maybe far more than we would have been, because the actors with this, they did their own costume, they did their own hair and makeup, lighting, everything. So it was across the board. It was a very community kind of pulling together kind of atmosphere.
And what was it like working with the three actors and Ben as a whole experience?
Yeah, it was lovely. It was lovely. I think we did benefit in the rehearsal. Well, not rehearsal. We kind of had a meeting before the day of filming, but because of the way that the film's kind of broken down, the mother and the father in the film never actually engage. So it was quite nice to have that opportunity prior to the day of filming to have Denise Black, who plays Margie, and Paul Bradley, who plays Joe, actually have some kind of interaction with Clare Calbraith, who plays a daughter. So they could just kind of get a sense of each other and kind of what that relationship would be, and kind of to have the chance to chat to each other and just take the pressure off. Because I think for anybody on these endless Zooms, which this was recorded over Zoom, letting people into your house is quite a daunting prospect for anybody, and that's what the actors did to allow us to film this.
And I watched the short, and it was very funny, and I enjoyed it, and I think that a lot of people can relate to their emotions during the pandemic. But what would you like to tell us about The Man at the Bottom of the Garden as a teaser to the audience?
So teaser-wise, it's about Jess, who's just ringing in on a regular basis, just to touch base with her mum and dad. And then one night she rings to speak to mum and dad, and mum tells Jess that dad has been taken ill with COVID. COVID-like symptoms. There's a bit of a twist on there. Nothing's quite as it seems. And I was quite conscious that yes, it is set in the pandemic, but yeah, we're not throwing certain words around. We're not the word lockdown never gets mentioned once in the short film, and neither does COVID. So yeah, it's the whole short is meant to just be a bit of a relaxation, a bit of kind of downtime for the audience for the 12 minutes that the film lasts.
Yes. And are there any genres that you haven't yet done that you know you would like to try out in the future?
I think I want to try everything. I'm
Good answer.
currently in development with a short film which is puppet and human interaction, which was shortlisted for a competition a couple of years ago. So I'm still kind of very much wanting to make that one happen. A friend of mine's a TV and film puppeteer, so we're dying to make that one next.
Oh, great. So you know what you're doing next. Do you sort of plan out ahead what you're going to be doing, or do you also like to go with the flow and keep some spaces open, see what comes your way?
I think
Is there
it's
anything?
I think it's
Yeah.
a case of kind of juggling a few things here and there, and not everything lands when you want it to. And with writers and directors, it's very similar to the experiences that actors have, which is when you are working, you're always looking for more work. When you're not working, you're desperate to find work, or you're creating your own work to kind of keep those muscles working. So yeah, I'm
Yes.
very much in the same position. I've got a number of things at various stages. Some things may land soon, some may not. Yeah, it's a case of just having enough things up in the air, and hopefully something will pan out.
Yes. And would you say you have anyone in particular who inspires you within the industry?
I wouldn't say anybody in particular. I think I kind of take bits and pieces from various places, but I do have a thing for filmmakers and theatre makers who cross mediums. Sam Mendes, Danny Boyle's another, but I also have a love for foreign film as well.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's it gives you more variety to look at, and there's some great stuff with foreign film. And would you say that there's anything in particular you're hoping that the audience would take away from The Man at the Bottom of the Garden? Is it more for the sort of like the release and the humor of the pandemic, to take away some sort of lightness from it?
Yeah, I'd like to think they find some kind of universal connection to it. It's meant to make people laugh, and I would like to think it's the kind of thing where they watch it and they're thinking about it a little bit afterwards, and they go, I'm just going to send this short film to this friend of mine and see what they think, and see whether they think this is like such and so. Yeah, because I think there is, at one point, my wife, when she saw one draft of the script, said, yeah, this is me and you in 30 years. And I've had similar kind of responses from people who I don't know, people who know the cast and know the creative team, and they kind of all have their own little way into what works for them within the short film. So yeah, I just want people to engage with it and have a laugh.
And where could we watch this film? Would you say is the best place to find it and watch it?
Well, it's been made now, and it's on YouTube. So if you search for The Man at the Bottom of the Garden, and it's being produced by Hidden Door Productions. And
Great.
yeah, my surname is usually quite a good one for search kind of criteria, because there's not many of us. Blinkhorn, my surname. Yeah.
And where could we find you on social media, give you support, and where can the audience members follow your work? If you want, you can share your Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. Where's the best place for people to find you?
Twitter's the best, and it's at PW Blinkhorn, BLINKHORN, and the link for the film and things are on there as well. That's the easiest place.
Well, that's great, and thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to seeing more of you in the future.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Sophia.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for more content next time.
here on the largest of the Balearic Islands, Mallorca. With the turquoise waters of the Mediterranean Sea, beautiful mountainous landscape, the thriving city of Palma, quaint little market towns, a growing number of luxury hotels, it's no surprise that the likes of Audrey Hepburn and Elizabeth Taylor like to holiday here. So come and join me as I take you round Mallorca.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.